Welcome to the Rewards Master. Today we're going to talk about what is the best super card, premium travel card for people who are kind of casual in their credit card journey. In other words, they don't have a whole lot of credit cards. Maybe they only have 1 to 5 cards and they don't want to use a different card everywhere that they shop, but they just kind of want a simplified setup. Maybe they travel just a few times a year and they want to be able to purchase flights through the portal. Which is the best card for that if they want one with lounge access and credits and all the great things that premium travel cards offer? So I recently did a poll on my channel where you, the viewers, voted on which one of these cards you feel are best. So if you would, hit the like and subscribe button and let's dive into this together. The 3 big-time premium travel cards available on the market at the current time are the American Express Platinum, the Capital One Venture X card, and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. They all have a big annual fee, although their fees are quite a bit different than one another. They all have great benefits, including lounge access and protections and all of that. But they're very, very different cards. And so what I wanted to know when I put out the poll is, what do people think is the best one for folks who are more casual in this hobby? You know, a lot of us who watch these videos, and especially those of us who create them, we're kind of more advanced in this. We're like what I call a level 4 or a level 5, where we transfer to transfer partners and maybe we use a different card for almost every spending category, so our wallet may have 8 or 10 cards in it. Well, a lot of folks, that's just too much for them. They don't want to mess with it that much. So if they want a premium card, so the few times a year they fly, they can get into an airport lounge and they can have the better protections and so forth and so on. Well, what card would be best for them of these? So we're going to walk through them and we're going to declare a winner. And it, my opinion, really matches exactly what the poll kind of indicated from your votes. So let's look at that. Well, first of all, we have the American Express Platinum card. Now, the Platinum card is a big boy, powerful card. In fact, a lot of people would say, and I've heard people say, it is their favorite card. They think it's the most powerful card on the market. It's really expensive. It's $695, and if you add authorized users, which you kind of want to if you have it, it bumps up close to $1,000. I mean, because it's like $195 for an authorized user. And you do that because you want them to be able to get all the benefits too, like lounge access. So this card is just extremely expensive, the most expensive card on the market. You might wonder, why would anybody pay that? I mean, just to have a credit card, especially when you consider that it's not the best earning card out there if you were to use it everywhere. Well, the first thing is sign-up bonuses. American Express just is the best in the game when it comes to the kind of sign-up bonuses they offer. This card offers anywhere from 80. There's an offer on the internet for 175,000 American Express points, and you have to spend $8,000 in 6 months to get that. So that's going to blow its competition out of the water when it comes to the points you can earn initially. Now, when it comes to earnings and the points you earn year by year by year as you're spending day by day, it really is not that great. You can get elevated points on your hotels and things through the portal. You can get 5x if you buy your hotels through the American Express portal. And then even if you buy flights directly or through the portal, it's 5x on that. So those are good multipliers, but the problem is that's it. In fact, all it has beyond that is 1x on everything else, which that is just not very good, especially when you consider things like dining, that most competitors have a higher multiplier, things like travel, general travel, things like gas, things like groceries, just doesn't have any of that. So it's 5x on flights, 5x on hotels through the portal, 1x on everything else, which is really substandard. Now, where this card shines, and it's often called the king of this category, is airport lounges, because it gives more airport lounge access for the cardholder than any of its competitors. In fact, than any other card probably out there. It gives the cardholder access to American Express's proprietary Centurion lounges, and they have a lot of them. and they are high-level lounges. Some of them better than others, but overall, they're all pretty decent and pretty good. Then it gives access, if you're flying Delta, to all the Delta Sky Clubs. And there aren't other premium cards that give access to an airline-dedicated lounge. So this is just really, really powerful. And then it gives a Priority Pass membership, which is like 1,300. Now they're all going to have this, but 1,300 plus lounges around the world. If you add all that together, this card has the very most lounge access of any card that you could possibly get. Now that sounds great. However, some of its competitors offer free guests. This one doesn't have that. Now, on Priority Pass, yes, but not with Centurion lounges and not with Delta Sky Clubs. So you have to pay, I think it's $50 or so when you want those to come in. So that's why you'd have to buy authorized user cards at $195 a piece. So yes, it's the best lounge access. No, when it comes to guests, it's not very good lounge access. So it's kind of balancing out in that category. Now, what's really amazing about this card, and it's both a great benefit and it's terrible on the other hand, depending on what kind of person you are, and especially when you consider that we're talking about the casual user, and that is the credits. This card is literally free for a lot of people in that you get back way more value than the $695. However, that's if you put in the work. I mean, it's got tons of credits. It's got like a $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit that you get in $50 chunks the first half of the year and the second half of the year. So that takes a little bit of effort. It's got a $200 hotel credit through the Fine Hotels and Resorts collection. But you've got to go and you've got to use your card. It takes a little bit of effort. It's got a $240 credit for entertainment. A digital entertainment. So if you sign up for Disney or Hulu Plus and you have a charge to this card, you're going to get like 20 bucks a month. It's got an Uber credit of $200 a year, but it's broken down monthly. So you got to go to the effort every month to get your money back. It's got an airline credit, but it's just for incidental. So if you don't find a trick or workaround, it only works for bags and it works for things like that, things that aren't exactly airfare. But when you add all that together, if a person does all of that, that's like in excess of $900. There's even some other credits that are, it's hard to quantify because nobody's ever going to use them. Like, for instance, the Equinox, I bet not 1% of American Express Platinum holders even use that one. It also has a Clear credit, which is worth something. It also has a Walmart Plus credit. I mean, it's crazy value, but it's crazy value if you're the kind of person who wants to put in a lot of effort. And casual users are casual users because they don't want to put in a lot of effort. So is it great? Yeah, for some people. Is it terrible? Yeah, for some people. And the last thing is American Express has the most transfer partners, but we really can't value that too highly because I think the casual user is going to use that very infrequently. However, one of their transfer partners is Delta. So that's an easy one to transfer to. A lot of people fly Delta. You do have to pay a little bit of a fee. It's not very much to transfer to domestic partners with American Express, but that's overall pretty decent, and I think the casual user might use that sometimes. So where does this one fall? Well, when I did the poll, American Express Platinum, even though I'm sure a lot of people who took the poll have it and love it, for the casual user came in last place with only 8% of the votes. 8%. And that's because of these things like the credits are hard to use and casual users won't want to do that. Their transfer partners are kind of meaningless except Delta. And the fee is super high. So this one, I would have to agree. Of all of them, you got to be kind of more advanced in the game and put in a lot more effort if you want this card to be worth it for the casual user. The second card on the list was the Capital One Venture X. Now this one's only been on the market a few years. It is super popular. In fact, it is at the top of a lot of people's tier lists. And that's because this card does give great value, both to casual users and also to people who are more advanced in the hobby. It has a $395 annual fee, which is not chump change, but it offsets it with incredible credits. In fact, you get a $300 discount through their portal. It's a discount, not a credit, so it just kind of reduces the price by $300. but super easy to use. And then you get 10,000 bonus miles on your anniversary, and those are worth well over $100. So you do get positive value, not as much as you can get with American Express Platinum, but you get it with a whole lot less effort. So for the casual user, that's just way, way better. The sign-up bonus on this card is pretty good. It's 75,000 points after you spend, I think it's $4,000 in the first 3 months. So it's doable, and it's a good sign-up bonus. The multipliers are just incredible for a person who just wants a one-and-done card. You get 10x in the travel portal, Capital One's portal, for hotels and for rental cars. You get 5x through their portal on flights. And then when you use this card anywhere else, anywhere in the world, Walmart, I mean, the grocery store, if you use it for dining, if you use it to pay your taxes, if you use it for your property taxes, or you use it for your church contribution, I mean, anything you use it for, you get 2x on that, which is a great base multiplier, especially if this is a card that you're going to use all the time and don't want to think about all of the different multipliers and choosing between different cards depending on where you're spending money. Now, the only real downside of the Capital One Venture X is that it doesn't have the greatest transfer partners. It doesn't have really good domestic partners. However, that doesn't really matter to the casual user, because most of the time the casual user is going to dive into the portal, buy their flights on there with their points. Now, you're only going to get 1 cent per point in their portal, but you've got a lot of ways to earn points here. So that would be the more downside of the Capital One Venture X. So where does it rank? Well, we summarized it a lot quicker than the American Express Platinum because it is a whole lot easier and simpler than the American Express Platinum, which for the purposes of this video and who we're talking about, the casual user, is a major plus. And when I did the poll online, this one ran away with the score. In fact, you voted 72% that the Capital One Venture X is the best premium travel card for casual users. And if I were to vote, I would say the same thing. It is the best of the best for people who just want a simple setup, want to get benefits. Now, the lounge access, we didn't talk about that already, and their lounge access is good. You get the priority pass, you get guests, but they have not very many, but they have very good lounges. DFW, they have one in Denver, they have one in Washington, D.C., and they're building more. And their lounges are amazing, the Capital One lounges, and you get guests. The other thing is this card gives free authorized users. So you can not only have guests in with your card, you can give people in your family a card of their own. It doesn't cost you anything. This card for the casual user is just simply the best of the best. And I agree with the poll wholeheartedly. It's number one. The third card is the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And this one, as you've figured out, it come in second place. And it had 20% of the vote. And it makes sense to me why some people voted for this one, because it does have a few things that for the casual user could even be better than the Venture X. I don't think that's true overall. And I'll let you decide as we look at the card. It's got a $550 annual fee. It does charge, not as much as American Express, but it does charge for authorized users, $75 for each one. But on its lounge access, and they do have Chase Sapphire lounges now, you do get priority pass, and you do get guests. So it's markedly better than the American Express when it comes to, it doesn't have as many lounges, but it does give that guest access. And the fee for authorized users is smaller than it is there, but certainly more than the zero with the Capital One Venture X. The sign-up bonus is not as good as either of its competitors. 60,000 points right now after you spend $4,000 in the first 3 months, which you could argue that Chase points are worth more. They probably are the best of all of these currencies, better than membership reward, better than Capital One miles. And these ultimate reward points are very valuable, but it's still only 60,000 of them. So that's certainly not as good as the other two. When it comes to credits, it really doesn't match up with the other two either, because for that $550, you're going to get a $300 travel credit. It's super easy to use. Basically, anything you spend on travel, they're just going to refund you back up to that $300. So it's a good credit, but there's just no way to get over that annual fee. So it's certainly not as good as American Express for those who work at it, or Capital One for anybody, because it's easy. Now, it does have the best partners, and I think this is one of the two reasons why the 20% said this is the best card for casual users, because their partners are ones that casual users would use. They have a partnership with Southwest Airlines. A lot of casual users use that. You can transfer them right over. They have a partnership with United. That's another really easy one. They don't charge a fee to transfer like American Express does. And they have a partnership with Hyatt Hotels. And Hyatt have just the most valuable hotel point currency. You can often get 1.7 to over 2 cents per point value with Hyatt. So they're easy transfer partners. They're good for casual users. Better than Capital One's for sure, and even better than American Express. So that's one reason why I think some people voted for this one. But I think the main reason why 20% of you thought this is the best card for casual users is because you get 1.5 cents per point redemption value in their portal. So when you book anything, when you book hotels or when you book airline flights or when you book maybe entertainment in their portal, you're getting 1.5 cents per point value, which is really, really good. So this card can be good for casual users. It's just when paired up against that Venture X card, it just falls short. And so I have to agree that it comes in second place. As I said, 20% of you voted for this, where only 8% said American Express, 72%. And the big winner in this, the best big-time premium travel card for casual users is for sure, and I agree wholeheartedly, the Capital One Venture X card. So what do you think? Do you have these? Do you have one of them or all of them? And what's been your strategy? Are you a casual user, or would you consider yourself kind of a high-level hobbyist like some of us are? Well, tell me down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I also want to tell you I now have channel memberships, and I publish videos that are available only to members every single week now. So there's a link down in the description. You can click on that if you'd like to join. It's only $2.99 a month. You can quit anytime you want, so there's no commitment. Very little risk for you, and it really helps support the channel. So if you'd like to do that, that's in the link below. Hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to share the video. We'll see you here next time.